Is he mowing or weed whacking?
Weed whacking.
So raise your glass, even though he's not the best.
That's why you guys get a bad reputation.
You'll be the first one on the sub list.
But at least he made the top 5.
Welcome to another edition of Lanai Gossip. We're here with Manny, who's going to talk about water volleyball today. We've already did a segment on water volleyball, but you got some extra information for us, and we appreciate you coming on. My co-host today is Dennis again. Dennis, you did about 4 of these, haven't you?
I have. Imagine having a co-host that doesn't drink, hits the record button.
So, Manny, tell us how you are a group leader for group water volleyball.
When I first got here 5 years ago with my wife, I did not know anything about water volleyball, and I took Volleyball 101, where they gave you the basics. And from the basic, you move on to perhaps a little bit more advanced, basic, intermediate, whatever you want to call it. So that's how it starts. You start with organized intermediate. That is where a pool ambassador will organize the game. People show up at certain times, published in the magazine, newspaper of the villages, and people show up and say, I want to play volleyball. And he might say, line up. That's one of doing it. Or said, here's a ticket, and we'll form teams, and people start playing.
Anybody can show up for organized.
Anybody.
An ambassador that kind of...
Anybody can show up for organized. They got organized basic and organized intermediate. Okay. Now, those are 2 of the levels of water volleyball. They also have advanced, but to get to advanced, you have to be a little bit tryout and all that. They also have another one that's going very fast. It's called Splish Splash.
Oh, I heard about that, yeah.
Splish Splash now has, I believe they have 1,500 members on Splish Splash on the Facebook page, and that is played in a water volleyball court, but they use a beach ball. So we basically have basic when you first start, then you have intermediate where you move on, then you have advanced, where I'm sure you're familiar with, you have to try out and et cetera, and now you have Split Splash. All in all, there are about, like I said, almost 2,500 people playing water volleyball on a regular basis here.
Okay, so you graduated, though, from organized to group play. Mm-hmm. Tell us how group play works.
Group play is, let's say you and I and Dennis and others are playing in a basic group, and I said, hey, I want to form a group. Why don't you and I get together and get ourselves usually another 14 or 12 players. Okay, now we have our own group, our own team. We don't have to go to organize basic and be put on a team by somebody there. And then we go show up to one of the pools where they have group play. Some people call it open play. And you show up with your team. And then you show up to your team, you get a court assigned, and you play. But that is, you go to the time slot for group play or open play with your team, and you play.
But generally during group play, it's not lining up and being selected.
No,
You're showing up with a group that you've previously been picked for.
That's correct. It's a group that I form, that I control, every week.
And how do you find out about these groups? Do you find out during the open play where you hear conversation, or somebody may come up to you, or how do you find out about groups that may have open slots?
Okay, there is a bit of everything there, like I said. Number one, it's listed on the newspaper on a weekly basis where they play group play. So if you are an orphan, I like to call them as orphan, somebody that shows up who's not in a team, you just show up. They ask me, are you looking for players? I want to play. And I say, can you play? So that's one way of doing it. Just show up. But if you have a team, you decide what time you want to play and at what pool. So you might want to play at Ike because it's closer to your house. Or Roham, which is a lot closer. So you might go there. If you're playing organized with somebody who really doesn't know how to play, even though they're playing organized, you're not going to invite them. Or if they ask you, say, sorry, I'm full. I'm not taking it in you. Let me put you on my sub list.
That's why you guys get a bad reputation.
You'll be the first one on the sub list. You might get a call or not, believe it or not. We form our group. We're calling the Water Junkies. We got 150 members that have to play on a regular basis. You don't have to play every day. We play 7 days a week. But we would like to see people play once or twice a month. If they go to Water Junkies and they said, I want to be invited to your team. So we look at the person to see who the hell they are and ask around, who's this person? Can they play? And if they don't have references or we never see them play, I hit deny, delete, or whatever.
Wow.
No, hey, my group, we play by the what about rules, but it's my group. In my own group, If I have out of the 150 people, I got people playing and they're not up to par. They got the notion of the tent and they're playing, or maybe they got older, or maybe got hurt. And I can put them on a sabbatical and say, hey, why don't you go take some classes and come back when you get better?
So now I go ahead and get a group.
Got
I
it.
show up at Rohan when every spot is taken by these groups that have been doing it for 2 years at the same time. What happens then?
Well, when we first started with this, people would show up and only take seven groups, 6 planes and 1 rotator out. Every 15 minutes, a team goes in, another one goes, out and out.
So is it safe to say at a pool like Eisenhower, where there's no pool ambassador, you get 15 groups that show up?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be similar to pickleball, where your team waits in line, and once one game is done, the loser rotates out, and a new group rotates in, or how does that work?
When I went to Eisenhower and there was 8 groups, every 15 minutes you rotated in the pool, and then you had to rotate court. So you were in for 6 and out for 2.
The way I do it, that's correct. That's the way I do it. Now, in Roham, I don't want more than 7 groups.
My group decides I want to play at Eisenhower on Thursday at a group time at 1 o'clock. How's that going to work for me?
The first time you show up with your group, the people there will tell you if they have openings, and they will tell you if you're welcome or not. If you have 7 people already playing, they'll say, "What are you doing here? Who are you?"
So
I know they do that though. You're right. And that's the kicker of new people when they start complaining about I didn't feel welcome. I know you don't care.
No, I do care, but I tell them that if you're looking for friends, get a dog.
I get it though. That's the thing. They've been at Eisenhower. They're there for 3 years, and then you come in with your brand new
Group.
thing, and they're supposed to let you in.
Right.
That's right.
You're not welcome.
You're not welcome. Now, I've had during the pandemic. I was one of the first ones to open up the pool during the pandemic for volleyball. Some of the other pools were using masks while they were in the water, which was asinine in retrospect. I said, get out of there. I say about a week or so ago, a lady comes up to me. I hang around the pool all the time, and this lady, civilian clothes, she wasn't playing. And she said, Manny, and I said, I got 2 teams I want to bring on Fridays and Saturdays at 11. I say, no, can't do. I got 7 teams already.
How do you grow your numbers? I mean, how do you seriously grow your numbers with, I form a group and I'm trying to get my group in and I'm being shown the door before I even put a foot in the pool.
Okay, now let me tell you what happened was organized intermediate is how everything started.
Sure.
Everybody playing organized intermediate at the beginning. But then I like Scott, and I want to have a team with Scott and Dennis. So I said, I don't want to play organized intermediate. They started group. So they started forming group.
Sure.
And started now group space. There is a school of thought up in the management. They don't want to open up more group play. If you look at south of 44, they got 3 sports pool now down there. Everglades, Spanish Moss, Ezel. And they're not really allowing group play. They have some, but not as many as we got.
So that's generally open play, beginner, intermediate, advanced.
They're trying to discourage group play because of that. They want to be inclusive. Anybody that wants to play volleyball can show up to play. But you're right. If you don't belong to a group, what do?
You're SOL.
Okay. Now, I'll give you a sample. My organized intermediate at Roham, and I got 6 courts on Tuesday now at 3 o'clock. Only 1 court is full. I got 5 empty courts on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. They won't let me give it to group play. That's for organized intermediate, and nobody but organized intermediate can play there. I also have the same thing on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. 1 court is being used, 5 empty. They will not allow me to say, you bring your group team now, your group, and play.
So partly is it because they're trying to cut down on group. It's kind of squashing the times and more people.
They're trying to push the league.
Thanks to him, we've got the best league to play in. It's not a boast, just a toast to number 5.